Hello friends and welcome back. Today I will be discussing religion and identity, sexual orientation. This episode will only cover the LGBT community. I will be discussing the other sexual orientations in a separate episode. So, let's go! Page, Lindahl, and Malik studied LGBT adolescents and the role of religion in their lives. They focused on two specific stresses in the youth's lives. They define religious stress as difficulty and conflict they feel from their religious and spiritual beliefs. The second stress they studied is known as gay-related stress, which they define as unique stressors that LGBT youth encounter due to their sexual orientation, such as harassment. Exposure to these stressors are linked with depression, emotional distress, and suicide attempts. In adolescence, religiosity is generally linked to better psychosocial adjustment, but many religions denounce homosexuality. If this stance is adopted by religious families, LGBT youth may have a hard time building a positive self-image and are at increased risk of psychological distress. Also, there is an association between exposing these youth to homophobic ideas from religion and shame, guilt, and internalized homonegativity. Researchers found that LGBT youth and young adults typically reconciled religious beliefs and sexual orientation in one of 6 ways. They reconciled beliefs and orientation, they changed beliefs, they ignored the conflict, they left the homophobic religion, they were unable to accept their sexual orientation, and they did not experience conflict. Compared to those that reported no conflict, those who left religion reported higher depression and lower self-esteem. LGBT youth who rejected their orientation based on religious grounds had a higher internalized homonegativity. Involvement in homophobic religions or spiritual belief systems is correlated to internalized homonegativity, more negative self-messages, and greater challenges in accepting oneself and one's sexual orientation. For these youth, managing the negativity and preventing sexual visibility, i.e. still in the closet, hinders sexual identity and negatively impacts psychosocial functioning. LGBT youth experience higher rates of abuse and bullying compared to heterosexual youth. They also exhibit higher rates of mental illness, suicidal ideation, and self-harm. Data indicate that conflict between religious beliefs and LGBT sexual orientation is associated with higher risk of suicide, while leaving one's religion due to sexual orientation and parental beliefs about homosexuality were correlated with suicide attempts within the last year. I cannot honestly say that I know how sexual minorities feel, because I don't. However, I do know that we need to stop the bullying. People are dying and it seems like nobody cares except the families who these people touch. If you are LGBT, please speak with someone. It doesn't have to be a parent or a friend. It can be somebody like a counselor. but you need to speak with someone so someone knows how you feel. I cannot tell you that I know how you feel. Also, I plan on doing more of these, particularly sexual orientation. I feel like this subject doesn't get a whole lot of press. There aren't a whole lot of people on YouTube that are addressing this. There are some, and thank you for addressing this, but there aren't nearly as many as we need. Well, friends, we've come to the end of another episode. I hope you learned something. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you like this content, please subscribe. And if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell by the subscribe button. And remember, folks, question everything and never be afraid. Goodbye.